So, as I've been saying, the revelation of Jesus Christ is the end times. To see the end times, to see the signs of the ends, is only because you have the revelation of Jesus Christ. And the people, and the people who can't see the end is because they don't have the revelation of Jesus Christ. The reason why people are so firmly planted in their traditions, their cultures, their indoctrinations, their belief systems, their worldviews, is because they don't have the revelation of Jesus Christ. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ that pulls you out of this world. It automatically pulls you out of this world. Once you see Christ, you see what's really happening in this world. You see the apocalypse that's happening in this world, and you're pulled out of this world. You're on the track to escape the judgment that's coming on this world. And that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the perspective of having a revelation of Jesus Christ and being pulled out of this world. And so I'm sharing for other people to be helped. And that's what the Bible is all about. The Bible is about people who saw the apocalypse and they were pulled out of this world. One person in the Bible who saw the apocalypse was Noah. If you go to Genesis chapter 6, the Bible says that Noah, and God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. And what I want to make this video about is about the end of all flesh, that phrase. What does it mean that the end of all flesh has come before God? When we look at the story of Noah, we study the story of Noah, it's obvious what the end of all flesh is. The flood came and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and every living being died. The animals, the humans, everybody died. Everything died. The plants, they all died. So that was literally the end of all flesh. But the end of all flesh also has a figurative understanding. The flesh is the things that people glory in. People may glory in their physical appearance. They may glory in the type of job that they have, the kind of money that they make, the car that they drive. People can glory in any number of things. But the end of all flesh is the end of all the things that people glory in. And so when the flood came, it didn't matter what you gloried in. It didn't matter what you possess. It didn't matter whether you're rich or poor, whether you're considered physically attractive or physically unattractive. They all suffered the same fate. So all the glory of man faded away. It died. It withered away. So that was the end of all flesh. And so here's the thing. What made Noah different from all flesh? Because the term all flesh also includes Noah. The Bible says that Noah found grace. Noah found grace. Grace took him out of the glorying of his flesh. Grace took him out of the judgment of those who gloried in the flesh. To find grace, to live through grace, is to live beyond your flesh. So somebody may say, oh, God gave me grace to preach that sermon. Meaning that the sermon, the preaching of the sermon, the words that came through the sermon was not through anything that I had studied or anything that I had rehearsed. It came through the grace of God. So to operate in the grace of God is to operate beyond our flesh. But in order for us to operate in the grace of God, we have to come to an understanding of what our flesh cannot do. We have to cease from the flesh and to embrace the grace so that we can flourish in the grace. And that's what Noah did. Noah saw the end of his own flesh. And because he saw the end of his own flesh, he saw the end of everybody's flesh. God gave him the revelation to see the end of everybody else's flesh. The Bible says that we are saved through grace, not of works, lest any man can boast. So when we come to the grace of God, when we receive the grace through the cross, we see the end of our flesh. We see the end of our flesh, but then we also see the end of everyone else's flesh, because no one can boast. It's the ending, the ceasing of people's boasting. When all flesh ceases, that is the apocalypse. When you see what the end of all flesh is, that is to have a revelation of the apocalypse. So salvation is the apocalypse. To see Jesus has come into this world is to see the apocalypse. To receive Jesus in your heart is to see the apocalypse, because you see what people cannot accomplish. So if a person is saying that they're walking in grace and they're living by grace and that they're saved through grace, is they've now found a source of life beyond what everybody else is living through, or they've now found a way to live outside of the life that people know. And then they also see the end of the life as we know it.